Welcome. In this video I'm going to cover some basic shell commands, tab completion, shell history, and editing the command line. Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7's command line shell of choice is the GNU Bourne Again shell, or bash. It interprets commands that are typed at the prompt and displays the result. Then a new prompt. Commands can have up to 3 parts: the command, options, usually preceded by 1 or 2 dashes, and arguments. White space is used to separate the various command elements. A command is the name of an executable file or script installed on the system, each accepting its own set of options and arguments. You execute the command when you press Enter. There is normally only one command per line, although you can have multiple commands on the same line if you separate them with the semicolon character. Let's look at some examples. Date by itself shows the current system date and time. If you add the format string, preceded by the plus symbol, then it will output the system date and time using the specified format string. In this case, the time is in 24-hour format, showing only hours and minutes. Or the date only in the locale format. Use -- help to see the other format options. The passwd command can be used to change your password. It will prompt you for your current password, and then the new password. Finally, you'll be asked to retype the new password to make sure you typed it correctly. Although many files do have extensions, Linux does not expect or require files to have an extension to classify them. If you need or want to check the type of a file, then you can use the file command. Most log files and most configuration files in Linux are plain text. As a result, Linux has many commands designed to work with text files. Head and tail are 2 such examples. They both show you a fixed number of lines from either the head of the file or the tail of the file. In fact, 10 lines is the default. But if you use the -n option, you can specify the number of lines to output. WC is another command for use on text files. It is short for word count, but in fact counts lines, words, and characters. It will output all 3 if you don't pass in an option. Otherwise, you can use -L to specify lines, and -W or -C for words and characters respectively. Working at the command line would not be very efficient if you had to type everything. Fortunately, bash has a feature called tab completion that will complete command and file names, directory names, and in some cases, command options. To use it, you simply type a few characters and press tab. Bash then tries to complete what you have typed. If you have typed enough characters for a unique match, then the result will be completed. Otherwise, bash will complete as much as possible and wait for you to type more characters to make the entry unique. Then you can press tab again to complete the entry. If you are unsure of what next to type, pressing tab twice will show a list of potential matches, and you can type more characters based on the list. There will be many times when you want to reuse a command that you have previously run. Bash maintains a history of commands you have run, so you can easily run a previous command by retrieving it from history. The up arrow and down arrow will allow you to work backwards and forwards again through the history. And if you want, you can edit an entry before running it again, perhaps with a new option or a new argument, or even just rerun it exactly as it was typed the first time. You can view your command history by typing in the command history. If you have been using your system for a while, there can be a lot of entries, up to 1,000 by default, so you can include a number as an argument to output only the last n entries. You can rerun a command by typing !n, the number beside your history entry, and it will execute it again as it was originally typed. Likewise, you can use !chars, where chars is the first set of characters of the history entry. The most recent history entry that starts with those characters will be rerun again, exactly as it was typed in the history entry. You often find yourself running a series of commands that reuses the same argument, for example, the same file name. Bash will copy the last argument from the previous command if you press Alt+ the dot, or escape followed by the dot. If you repeat the key combination, it will continue to step back through the earlier commands. Few of us are perfect typists, so it pays to review your command before pressing enter. If you need to make changes, you can quickly navigate the entry with the following keyboard shortcuts. Control A or Home will jump to the beginning of the line. Control E or End will jump to the end of the line. Control right arrow and Control left arrow will jump a word in each direction. Control U will clear from the cursor to the beginning of the command line. Control K will clear from the cursor to the end of the command line. Control W will delete the previous word. Control R can be used to search the history and either edit or run the command again. This option tries to find the first entry where the characters you type are unique. The more you type, the more it refines the result. Press enter to rerun the command as is, or an arrow key to edit the command before you execute it. To recap, commands are executable files that may take options and arguments and are run by pressing the enter key. Multiple commands can be on the same line if you separate them with a semicolon. Options modify the command behavior, and arguments are what the command operates on. Several example commands include date, passwd, file, head, tail, wc. The tab key can be used for command or file name completion, and even complete options in some cases. Press tab twice to get a list of possible matches. History can be used to review previous commands, and you can rerun them using several techniques. There are also a number of useful command line shortcuts for editing entries and reusing previous arguments. That concludes this video. Thanks for watching.